welcome back to the Precision Defense Shooting Teams podcast. I'm Brad Jeffers, and I'm here with Jesse Misko. How are you, Jesse?
Pretty good. How about you, Brad?
I'm doing well. It's hot and sunny in Ohio. What's happening in Wisconsin?
Oh, more of the same, about 100 degrees.
Geez, you're
Yeah.
you're hot.
Yeah,
You're
everyone thinks it always just snows here. It doesn't.
it's last couple times I've talked to you, I think it's been hotter there than here.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
you get both extremes.
Unfortunately.
Well, today we've got a young man that we're going to get to talk to that I'm excited about. I don't know this young man very well at all. And he's coming from a place where it's always hot. So, Caleb Peterson, are you with us today?
Yes, I am.
Hi, Caleb. Good to talk to you. I don't know you very well at all. I met you once briefly at the Kentucky match. And Jesse, I don't think you've met Caleb, have you?
No, I haven't had that opportunity yet.
Okay. Well, we both look forward to getting to talk to you more and get to know you a little better. Caleb, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I've always enjoyed shooting ever since I started. Started like shotguns probably since I was 4 or 5, but then I didn't start Steel Challenge until maybe I was 13 or 14.
And Caleb, what have you found that you like most about Steel Challenge in general, and I guess the action shooting in general?
I love the people and the community.
Who's been your favorite person that you've met so far?
Probably Steve Foster.
You want to tell us how you met Steve?
Yeah, initially I met him at, I think it was Worlds one year when he was at the Ely stand, but I didn't like get to know him at all. I met him like officially at a team tandem cross dinner. I think at a different Worlds, maybe the next year.
Yeah, and how did because you're part of Steel Target Paint, the shooting team, is that correct?
That's correct, yeah.
Did Steve just offer that to you? What do you think led to that?
We started shooting matches together, like local matches, like hyper shooter,
Awesome. Yeah,
and
that's a really cool thing to be a part of. I know when I was younger, I definitely wanted to be part of that team. I know it's a great community, no doubt about that. Steve and the Steel Target Paint family has been amazing. Brad, do you have any questions you want to ask?
What a couple things. So, how old are you now, Caleb?
I'm 17.
Okay, you're 17. Are you starting your senior year in high school, or are you in a junior?
Yeah, I'm a senior this year.
Okay, so you're a young senior, and you're in Georgia, correct?
Yep.
Okay, okay. I know you talked about the Steel Challenge family, and Jesse talked a little bit about the Steel Target Paint family, and I'm fortunate to have to know several of those. And Steve's someone that I consider to be a very good friend, so I'm excited for that opportunity for you. But I think honestly that can carry much wider than even your shooting team. I found that the whole Steel Challenge family kind of turns into a really good group of people that kind of support each other. And when someone's in need, it seems like there's a lot of people ready to step up. Have you experienced that as well?
Yeah, I definitely have. I've had one day, I forgot what match it was. Completely forgot my PCC at home. Jeff Johnston stepped in. He was leaving that day, but he let me borrow his PCC anyways.
Well, Jesse, I will say one good thing about that story is I thought that was something that only old people did. So I guess maybe I'm okay.
Yeah, it amazes me how well I've mentioned it a couple times before in interviews with like RCSA and Steel Challenge, but it's really easy to get into this sport because you don't honestly need a gun or ammo. You just go to a match, and chances are somebody's more than willing to give you an opportunity to either shoot the entire match or to at least just experience a little bit of it.
Yeah, that's quite common. I know I'll bounce off the subject a little bit, but I was squatted with a young lady at Kentucky, the Kentucky State match, and the poor girl had a tube-fed iron sight 22 rifle,
Oh
which
wow.
you're not allowed to shoot, right? Because you can't really feed it without flagging yourself. So I went to the truck and grabbed my rifle and said, "Here, shoot it and have fun." And she did great, and she had a great attitude. but anyone else would have done that in our squad, which is kind of what we're talking about, that family. Like we all kind of root for each other, even though we compete hard. We definitely try to support each other. Caleb, do you have a favorite, match that you look forward to every year? And are you shooting RCSA any, or are you sticking with Steel Challenge at this point?
I always look forward to Worlds because everyone's there, everyone I've met. It's an important match, so it really like brings out the best shooting I can get. I also look forward to the South Georgia match every year. It's a well-run match. It feels like every time I go, something significant happens.
Expand on that.
The first South Georgia match, I broke 80. In the most recent South Georgia match, I broke 70 for the first time.
Okay.
And so is that your current PB now, is just under that 70?
I think I know the answer to that. I think we've got
No,
a sub 65, don't we?
yeah, 64, 47, I think, around
Nice.
that.
That was Alan Coleman's match here just a couple weeks ago.
No, that was Kentucky State.
That was Kentucky State. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what did you shoot at Alan Coleman's match?
It was a 6-stage match, so I
That's
shot
right.
a 44.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. That's a 6-stage match this year, and next year it's switching to 8, I believe, is what Alan had told me. Good.
So with you now just breaking sub 65, what kind of goals do you have set up for yourself in terms of either, whole 8-stage matches or your normal peak times? What are you thinking for a goal there?
I want to be able to consistently shoot 59.99 or lower.
Yeah.
The sub 60. It's appealing.
It is.
Not a lot of people make it to that level, so that's certainly a nice goal.
Yeah, for everybody out there, reaching that sub 60 can be very, very difficult. Or even really, I should say, any goal you have set for yourself tends to be very difficult at first. But you'll find once you break that goal, you'll consistently shoot those times. You'll just be confident and you'll keep shooting those times. So Caleb, if you can really, hunker down, get that 59, you'll find that it just comes a lot easier and you'll start really digging into the times itself. And at all the matches, you'll start being, you'll think of it as it's like you to shoot a 59. You'll find that it comes a lot easier after you break it. Because I know when I first broke 60, I kind of destroyed it. I think I shot a 56 something at Area 5, and that was my first time going sub 60. And ever since then, it's just been insanely easy.
Yeah, I found that to be the case with breaking 65. I could get nowhere near that for a while, and then all of a sudden I broke it once and I keep breaking it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good. Now, you're a little bit older, even though you haven't been shooting Steel Challenge a lot, than some of the kids we're talking to. And so I'll ask you, do you have, and it's okay if you don't, but do you have plans for post high school at this point? Are you just kind of waiting to see what's going on? Are you looking to extend shooting into in those plans, or what's going on there?
I plan to continue shooting Steel Challenge while I'm in college. Probably slow down a little bit because it's just a lot to manage like that. But I'm gonna try my best to keep it up.
Yeah, and that's something that I can talk on quite a bit, is because I actually started shooting steel when I was in college. I want to say I was in my, I think, third year of college. I was in college for 5 years, and really use your time in school to forget about shooting. Just, I'd always, in my first couple months of school, still be shooting a little bit. But once the matches kind of dwindled down, I just completely forgot about it, focused on school. And it actually works to your benefit. Obviously, you get to focus on school, but this podcast is about shooting, so we're going to focus on that. When you take a break from shooting for 3, 4, 5 months, it really resets yourself. You forget all the bad things you do, like the just mental aspects. And then when you come back to it, you're much more incentivized to shoot better. You don't have anything to think about. You're just out there having fun. You haven't been at it for a while, so it's just much more enjoyable. So definitely take the time while you're in school to forget about shooting and then get back to it in the summer, like most sports. And that really goes for most people. You don't want to shoot year round, like any sport. People don't play football year round. They don't play basketball year round. It's hard on you. You get burnout really easily.
Yeah, that's good advice. So I come from a multi-sport background of coaching and a lot of other competitive sports. I haven't been doing Steel Challenge very long, but um to expand on that, kind of the youth sports phenomenon right now is all about these kids playing nonstop. And it really is true that those breaks really can help you significantly. I know me and Jesse's talked about this quite a bit because he's forced to take a long break and has probably improved faster than most if not all of the top level shooters when he's got 4 months where he's not going to really touch his gun unless he's aiming at the wall, whether he wants it or not. But he might find a day or two in there. But I know, Jesse, you felt like you really lose almost nothing in that 3 or 4 months off. Is
No,
that accurate?
I on the contrary, I actually feel like I gain a lot of time. Usually what
Mm-hmm.
I'll do is I'll come back, shoot a match, shoot a normal time, and then the next match, like at Worlds this year, just come in and shoot a 55 like it's nothing after
Mm-hmm.
some dry fire, some live fire in the snow to be exact.
Well, that was your second or third match of the year, right?
Yeah, second match.
Really no warm up and still shot some really good times. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, certainly taking those breaks can be really incentivized because good practice is much better than just practice.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it's hard to focus when we're mentally trying to force ourselves to go do it. Well, Caleb, what are your strengths and weaknesses as a shooter?
My weaknesses, I can sometimes struggle. For a while, it was 3 out of 5 strings instead of 4 out of 5 strings that I needed.
Mm-hmm.
And now that's getting better. I'm able to put it together better. But there's just a few stages, and it changes every match that are just trouble.
Yeah, and before you go into your strengths, I kind of want to mention something that I can't remember what book it was, but in sports you tend to plateau quite a bit. You'll be working at it for months at a time, and you'll see relatively no improvement. But what you're doing is you're maybe not on paper you're improving, but in your head you're creating all those pathways in your brain that really help you improve. And all it takes is just a small tick in something that'll unlock all that you've learned throughout those months. So even for everybody out there, if you're working and you're not improving, know that you are improving in some fashion, even if you don't see it.
I think we also learn from those some of the errors we make and some of those things we're constantly learning as well. And sometimes we have to get the right combination of things lined up. And we don't really notice some of those things until we get into a little bit of a funk or a little bit of a sideways where we're not shooting PRs or PBs every match.
Caleb, I want to hear about your strengths because I don't like talking about negatives all the time. Let's not dwell on those.
For sure.
Pretty much always been good at, like, if I have a miss in a string, that I just get that out of my head, mentally reset, act like it never happened.
So I would say you probably are a good pressure shooter then. Like when there's pressure on, you seem to respond well. Because if you have a miss hanging on there, you don't want to obviously have to count it. So there's a little more pressure, but you deal with that pretty well, it sounds like.
Yeah, I do.
Good. So let's talk about in anyone that's, come through life up to your age, you've got a supporting cast to get you where you are, where, you're winning matches, winning some high level matches, shooting really good scores. So who are the people along the way that have really helped you out? I know you train with our buddy Steve often, and I'm certain he has certainly helped you with your shooting. Maybe you can touch on that or other people that you really respect or admire and that have helped you.
Yeah, training with Steve has really helped. He's taught me a lot, fixed a lot of issues I had. We call it my chicken wing, where my elbow is like way up when I'm shooting. He taught me to make sure to keep it tucked in.
Your right elbow?
Both.
Both. Okay.
Yeah, I know some people might go against that, like Chris Berry. He likes to get that left arm out there, but he's a lot bigger guy than you or I, Caleb. So
Yeah.
So who are some other people that you admire that's helped you along the way?
One of them is probably actually Chris himself. I met him in at one of my first few matches, like my third or fourth, and they encouraged me to shoot the Alabama State match coming up. And from there, just kept encouraging me to shoot more. And knowing him built a lot of connections too. Like helped me meet Steve.
So it sounds like he's been a positive role model for you. Is that fair to say?
Definitely.
So something that I like to pass around from from my sports background working with kids is, I think often as kids sometimes we don't realize how much of a role model we actually are. Right. So I think that would be a challenge that I like to always challenge kids with, is remember that, you are Chris Barrett to some of these younger kids, and it gives you the opportunity to return what Chris did for you to them. So, that's something I'd love to see you, and I'm sure you probably already do, but remember that, because I think you have a great platform and a great opportunity to really help these other young people that are starting out and want to be good shooters along the way.
Yeah, and Caleb, if you want to expand on that, is there anything that you'd want to, any advice that you have for people that are just shooting or kind of getting into it from something that you've learned?
Yeah, you gotta stay committed to practice. Like you can take breaks, but don't just give up on practice entirely. You can't only shoot matches. Practice can be dry fire, live fire. You've just got to make sure to practice.
I think that's good advice, Jesse. What do you think?
I wouldn't be here without it.
That's right. That's right. Well, Caleb, we really appreciate you taking a little bit of time to sit here and chat with us, and we're looking forward to seeing you at the range. Make sure you come up and say hi to us. I'm the really good looking guy, and Jesse's the really fast guy. That's kind of how we we distinguish ourselves. But anyway, there's a little sarcasm in there, of course. But regardless, we look forward to getting to know you better, and we'll be watching your scores and wishing you the very best of luck.
Thank you. I look forward to seeing you guys in person.
Awesome. Thanks, Caleb.
You're welcome.
Take care. Bye bye.